What's your takeaway about what that said when you got the word that the court looked at the facts and went, get out of here?
Well, the system in this case held. The system worked.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of a grand jury or any jury, right? The founders actually designed it for exactly this purpose in mind. That you could have a rogue runaway presidency that's going to weaponize the government against political opponents, as we have in this case. But a jury of the peers are going to say, no, not on our watch. We're not going to do it. That's the first important part here. The second is, I think folks absolutely know what's really going on here. This is not about us or Mark Kelly or Alyssa Slotkin, and it actually isn't even about the video. What the administration and Donald Trump in particular is trying to do is send a message to Americans that if you dare dissent, you dare speak up and step out of line, you will be crushed.
Yep.
So you all better fall in the line. But we are not going to be threatened. We're not going to be intimidated. And he picked the wrong people because we're not backing down.
There you go.
When you say he picked the wrong people in part in his targets. He also picked the wrong people writ large. The New York Times refers to what happened potentially being read as a citizens' revolt, that you have American citizens who are actually the final line and the final check on this so-called justice system here in this country. You're pushing it even further. You have a letter from your attorney that is demanding that Jeanine Pirro never take legal action against you, saying the indictment was a misuse of power. The reports that your office tried and failed to secure an indictment against Congressman Crow represents a breathtaking and unprecedented level of prosecutorial overreach and misuse of power. Accordingly, this letter is a demand that you take no further action against Congressman Crow and puts you and those pursuing any further charges on notice of the legal ramifications if you do so. Have you heard back from her office?
No, we haven't. And here's why we sent that letter. It's really important right now that we start imposing costs on people who are abusing the system, who are turning their back on the Constitution, who are violating the law. They just can't be doing this with impunity. They have to know that we're making lists. I'm keeping names. I'm taking names. And there is going to be accountability. And we're going to start imposing costs on people for abusing positions of trust, for abusing our system and the Constitution. I am not going to be sitting back in a foxhole where they lob grenades at me. We are going to fight back.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, this is Senator Murphy had something to say about this today, and I want to play what he had to say, and then we'll chat about it on the other side.
At some point, this democracy will die. And our purpose here is to improve the quality of life for our constituents, but to protect the democracy at all costs. There has to be a bipartisan response to the broad abuses of power, but specifically, right now, to the fact that two of our colleagues are on the verge of being arrested by this president simply based on their political opposition to the president. This is a moment where we could decide to agree.
The only charge worse than sedition in this country is treason. Seditious conspiracy is a step below treason. Treason involves the actual act of like a type of war against the country. I know there's a lot going on, but the United States government is actively working to prosecute and attempt and arrest people who are in opposition in the government's mind to the president.
Yeah.
If this were another country, we would be talking about it as a breakdown in their democracy. And I think far too many people in this country are just going along like, here go the president again, trying to get retribution. Not today. But this is actually very serious. And I hear Senator Murphy about how, this needs to be a bipartisan response. But even Tom Tillis came with a both sidesism on this today. He posted on X, political lawfare waged by either side undermines America's criminal justice system, which is the gold standard of the world. This ain't either side. The government is arresting journalists. They are attempting to arrest lawmakers from the opposition party. What are we doing?
Right. Well, I came to Congress, and I've been one of the most bipartisan members of Congress for many terms. right? Because I believe in legislating, I believe in governing, I believe in coalition building. But this is not a normal time anymore. And I'm not going to act like it. And I'm not going to sit back and just, sing Kumbaya and work across the aisle on small bills while the very fabric of our democracy is under threat. And I agree with Chris Murphy, and I would take it one step further. This is not just about delivering for Americans and the cost of living and the cost of housing or democracy. It's both. Because what we actually see is that when you have a president who's as corrupt as this one, the most corrupt president in the history of America, that has turned this government into a piggy bank for him and his family and his billionaire cronies, and has taken every arm of the government and turned it into a weapon against political opponents, that also impacts quality of life. Right? The price of housing is not going down. The price of goods are not going down. We're spending billions and billions of dollars on military adventurism because Donald Trump doesn't see a problem that he doesn't think he can bomb his way out of. Right? So when the checks and the guardrails of democracy fall, people's lives get worse, it gets more expensive, taxpayer dollars is wasted, and yes, the ability to dissent and oppose power and authority, which is one of the most essential things in America, that also fails.
Could I just say, Simone, real quick? The Congressman made a good point about the impunity thing. These members acting with impunity in the administration and so forth, they do it because Donald Trump gives them that. But when Donald Trump's not there, Jason Crow, Mark Kelly will be standing there.